reduce the population, injecting our boys and girls with poisonous inoculations. Yum, yum.
The real problem is this, James. In 2 decades, there will be 7 billion human beings on this planet. Most of them brown, yellow, or black. All of them hungry. All of them determined to love. They'll swarm out of their breeding grounds into Europe and North America. Hence Vietnam. An all-out effort there will give us control of South Asia for decades to come. And with proper planning, we can reduce the population to 550 million by the end of the century. I know. I've seen the data.
We sound rather like gods reading the Doomsday Book, don't we?
Well, someone has to do it. Not only will the nations affected be better off, but the techniques developed there can be used to reduce our own excess population. Blacks, Puerto Ricans, Mexican Americans, poverty-prone whites, and so forth.
I, Shalom, want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, Wahar Rakah Quadash, which in the ancient Hebrew tongue would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, and the Holy Spirit. I also would like to give double honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much due honors and respect to the sincere brethren out there that's also laboring in His work. And as always, I want to say shalom to the believers, the Akim as well as the Aqua, which would be you brothers along with the sisters that subscribe to this truth as well. So yeah, just wanted to go into another quick lesson, which is going to be inspired in part by something I briefly mentioned in one of my previous videos, concerning the fact that this truth is symbolic to a light, all right? And that light was pretty much set up to expose the things done in darkness. The workers of iniquity, Esau, the so-called white man, and in particular, the chief house of the nation of Edom, which comes in the form of these international bankers, those who seized control of the planet Earth, and the fact that they deal behind a veil. They work and all of their business is done in secrecy, behind this shroud of darkness, you see, and deception, which comes in the form of these different meetings and secret councils, which when they are perceived to be forthcoming, which at times these devils, they'll show you in plain sight. And that's due to their pride. These devils are so proud to where they would expose their agenda right in your face, in the form of these different movies, different sayings, all right? They have different signals and signs and hidden messages and cryptic codes that they'll throw out there to the public. And pretty much you'll have to be an insider to pick up, on the message they're trying to convey. And pretty much, again, that's done in their pride, because they figure you people to be nothing more than goyim, cattle and sheep. And they pretty much feel as if they can run circles around the masses of the people, which they're right, because you people, especially here in America, is dumbed down. And I say that respectfully, But Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah have raised up men pretty much to make inquisition on the behalf of Israel. We were set up to scrutinize these devils and pretty much catch them with their hands in the cookie jar, man. You see? And that's why right now you see certain brothers' YouTube channels being compromised. You have men whose channels has been terminated. Even this channel, as we speak, this Mysteries of the Kingdom channel, is one strike away from being terminated altogether. And that's why I encourage, those amongst you brothers and sisters out there who haven't gotten the memo, I have a backup channel, GMS Mysteries of the Kingdom, which, if I remember, I'll put the link in the description box. And I encourage you to subscribe to that channel, because these devils, is looking to silence this word and somehow suppress, this word. And that proves that we have the truth, you see? Because out of all the so-called black activists and the different rallying cries from our people, the marches, the Million Man March, these devils, they haven't exhausted any strength, money, time, or resources into silencing those particular movements. But all of a sudden, when this truth began to surface, now these devils is deeming, this hate speech, Now you have all these different YouTube community guidelines. All right. So that's the devil, you know, proving that he's not willing to deal with truth. All right. This man is more comfortable dealing in the shadows, in the creepy holes and corners and crevices, man, like the snake that he is. So when that light is shed, he's uncomfortable with that. All right. So now what you see in front of you is a statement made by this guy, Jay Rockefeller. This is a quote, a direct quote, okay, which he's an insider. He's a banker, you know. It says the internet should have never existed. See that? It's a threat to national security. Now, to the naked eye and at face value, you'll read this and you'll say, well, you know, he's right because you have these different terrorist cells, terrorist group, whether it's Al-Qaeda and, you know, the Taliban, you know, which when you scratch beneath the surface, you know, all of those different groups are funded by the CIA. You know, a bunch of those leaders, for an example, this guy, Osama bin Laden, he was a CIA operative, man, okay? Pretty much, you know, to the naked eye, you will look at this like, well, he's on to something. But the reality of it is he's speaking concerning this very moment, okay? They understand that the internet is pretty much a platform where the truth can run rampant, where the truth will have its free course. And this is the work of Yahweh Shem Shah. You got to remember these different media outlets is controlled by the bankers. But see, right here on the YouTube, you know, this is the Lord giving us free access to exposing our thoughts, you know. And it isn't a problem if you know, speaking concerning something that has no truth to it. But once the truth, you know, begins to settle, you know, on the minds of the prophets, and they begin to convey that truth out to the public, now that's the problem, okay? And again, this is why you see certain brothers' channels being compromised, okay? So this devil, in this quote, the internet should have never existed, it's a threat to national security. This is geared towards the prophets, all right? Matter of fact, let's go into the scriptures, because the scriptures actually speak concerning this. The fact that this would be the instrument, this would be the vehicle, if you will, that Yahweh Shem Shah would choose to shed light on the workers of iniquity, man, and expose them, all right? So this is the book of Job, the 20th chapter, and I started the 26th verse. It says, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places, all right? A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. And this is concerning Esau, the so-called white man, in his reign of terror. All right, the Lord is going to overthrow this current system violently. All right, that's why the scriptures say, if fire not blown shall consume him. And that's concerning World War III. All right, verse 27, and this is the point. It says, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity. And what's that heaven? The internet. Okay? You know, that's where the satellites are set up, you know, in the different signals. They bounce off of these signals, and it's sent to whatever particular phone, iPad, tablet, desktop, computer, flat top, you know, across the board. See? This is a marvelous work of Yahweh Shem Shah. And this is actually light. This is that light, you know, that's exposing the darkness of Esau. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me grab some real quick and I'll go back. The book of St. John, the 3rd chapter. In the 20th verse, it says, for everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. See that? And again, this is why you have this guy, Jay Rockefeller, and, you know, all of these different higher-ups, they share the same sentiment. You know, let's get rid of the internet. But really, when you go into it, these devils is looking to get rid of certain channels. You know, they want to be able to monitor what you have access to. See? Because the internet is going to be a critical part of, you know, the chip, you know, and the Internet of Things. All right? So they don't really want to get rid of the internet altogether. They want to get rid of the different channels that's exposing their deeds. Well, light is on display. See? So again, it says, for everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. See that? Neither come to the light, lest his deeds shall be reproved. See, lest his deeds shall be reproved. Okay? Matter of fact, let's click on this word reproved.
Strong's G 1651. Eleg ho. Eleg ho.
Yeah, eleg ho. That's the pronunciation in the Greek for this word reproved. It says to convict, okay? And that's what you're witnessing. Okay, the so-called white man is on trial, man. All right? And he's being scrutinized by the prophets. Okay? We cross-examining this damn devil and we convicting him. Okay? And this man guilty on all charges. See? It says convict, refute. All right? It says generally with a suggestion of shame of the person convicted. Yeah, and the scriptures tell you how shameful spewing shall be on his glory. Case in point, these devils want to get rid of the history books concerning slavery. Why? Because that's a shameful blot on their records, man. See? And we exposing it. And that's what this internet was set up to do. Okay, if you're in a party, you know, you got a damn spaghetti stain on your shirt and the lights is off, you cool. But once they turn the lights on, you're going to be exposed, man. All right? And that's what we were set up to do. We were set up to expose that proverbial blot, that stain on the so-called white man's glory. See? It says by conviction to bring to the light, to expose. See that? See that? By conviction to bring to the light, to expose. See that? So again, when you read St. John the 3rd chapter and the 20th verse again, for everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved, or lest his deeds should be exposed. See that? And that's where we at in the process. And that's the chronological order. That's the natural order of things whenever you have someone that's in the process of being convicted, you know, and judged. First, that person has to be identified and targeted. He has to be revealed. Then his crimes, you know, his the charges must be exposed. See that? And that's where we come in at. All right? So when you go back to the book of Job, the 20th chapter, in the 27th verse again, it says, the heavens shall reveal his iniquity. See that? And the earth shall rise up against him. See? And the earth shall rise up against him. And why is the earth going to rise up against him? Because this man is a cancer. You know, if you have a cancer in your body instinctively fights it. It tries to fight it off. You know, if you got a cold or whatever disease, you know, you're going to try to fight it off. And that's what the earth doing, man. The earth is fighting it off. The earth is not yielding its fruit to this man. And even the other nations is fighting against him. And ultimately, everybody's going to look at this man as being a devil because his plans is being exposed. His diabolical plans of exterminating the planet Earth, man. Okay? And that proves you that that's Esau. When you read, what's that, Genesis, the 27th chapter, Revelation, the 6th chapter, around the 4th verse, it tells you how this man blessing is the sword, meaning what? He would never diplomatically settle anything. Okay, this man could have had a different conclusion he could have came up with versus just killing everybody, man. That proves that this man blessing is the sword. This is the only way he can rationalize things out. You know, all these different options are on the table. First and foremost, why won't you try following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, man? You know? But we don't expect this devil to do that, all right? But he have a lot of options. You know, he can come together with the different nations and trade resources, you see? But nah, this devil, his only rationalizing outlook to make everything right on the planet Earth is to kill everybody, man, to depopulate the planet Earth, you know? and maintain humanity under 5 million. That proves that he's the devil. That proves that his blessing is the sword. See that? So pretty much this man is being exposed. Right now he's been exposed for the devil that he is, and there's no way around it. Okay? This is Ephesians, the 5th chapter, and let me see. I started the 12th verse. It says, "For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret." Let's read this again. "For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them," of who? Esau, "in secret." Yeah, let's mention some of those things. The Bohemian Groves, all right? Where these devils, they get together and have a big freak fest, you know? They got these different sacrifices, blood sacrifices. You know, they sacrifice children. They got these pedophile rings, you know. They got these different orgies where you cast a lot and you got to have sex with whomever the lot fall, man or woman, man. Okay, this is what Esau do in the dark. See, again, that's why the scripture says, "For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret." Yeah, bestiality, all right, having sex with animals. See, verse 13, "But all things that are reproved," and we just looked up that word reproved, it means to expose. See, "But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light." See, are made manifest by the light. And again, that light is this truth. And this truth is on display, well, here on the internet. And again, that's why when you go back to the quote from Jay Rockefeller, he said, "You know what, man? We should have never created this internet." Well, guess what? That was Yahweh Bashim Hawashah snaring you devils, man. See? You was snared and trapped in your own lust because you thought this internet would be a way of you basking in the glory of, you know, another modern marvel of the 21st century. You got to remember, these devils are proud, man. You know? So they like to thumb their nose up. Look what we discovered. You know, look at our technology. Okay? No other nation have accomplished such a feat. Well, guess what? In your lust to bask in the glory of, you know, your technology, the Lord snared your ass, man. Okay? And he used you to create the very platform that we using to expose you. See? Matter of fact, I'm going to go back here. But let me grab some come to mind real quick in the book of Job, the 5th chapter, starting at the 12th verse. It says, "He disappointed the devices of the crafty," see, "so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise." So the Lord disappointed the devices of the crafty, see. "He taketh the wise in their own craftiness." See that? So the very same internet that you created, the Lord took you in that, man. See, that shows you that Yahweh Bashim Hawashah is the ultimate snare, okay? It says, "He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong." See, they meet with darkness in the daytime, meaning what? You know, these different meetings. For an example, the Bilderberg meetings. You know, these secret councils. See, they meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. Meaning what? Here it is, you meeting in a secret council in the darkness when it's actually daytime. Meaning this is the time where the Lord got this knowledge on full blast, man. The lamps is burning. It's daytime, man. And here it is, you still trying to meet in darkness. You know, it's like, you know, you in the middle of the day trying to huddle up. Man, everybody can see you now. See? They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. See? "But he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth." And that sword is dealing with Esau and his blessing. "But he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty," which is Esau. And what you saw in the opening clip was this diabolical plan of these devils to get rid of the population, man, to depopulate the earth. Which really, when you read between the lines, that's dealing with getting rid of Israel. And you can read about that in Exodus, the 1st chapter, around the 7th verse. See? But the scripture said the Lord saveth us from those plans. Matter of fact, before I go back to the book of Ephesians, let me grab one more quick one in the book of Psalms. the 97th chapter, I believe. Yep, this is our Psalms, chapter 97, and starting at the 10th verse, it says, "Ye that love the Lord hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints." Yeah, the Lord preserveth the souls of the elect. Because throughout all the hell that's going to befall the planet Earth, the Lord is going to preserve a remnant. See? He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. See? Light is sown for the righteous. See? Light is sown for the righteous, meaning it's understanding, it's truth, which again is compared to a light. See, here it is, these devils still trying to meet, as if it's darkness. Meet in the dark, and they groping, when it's actually daytime. The light is out here now. See? Light is sown for the righteous and gladness for the upright in heart. See? And that's heavy because outwardly, we have shortcomings, but the Lord is judging us by our heart, the inner man. See that? So let's go back to Ephesians, the 5th chapter, in the 13th verse again. It says, "But all things that are reproved, see, are made manifest by the light." See that? For whatsoever doeth make manifest is light. See? Wherefore he saith, "Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Hamashiach shall give thee" what? Shall give thee light. See? And that's dealing with, again, this understanding, this truth. Okay? So by default, by the Lord giving us this truth, by default, we're exposing, things that's done in the dark. See that? So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, Lord willing. It was edifying. Till the next time I say shalom.